everybody. Hello and welcome to our Powerful Women in Health event. This is usually our Powerful Women in Business event, but with it being the first month of the year, we found it fitting to really hone in more on what fuels us and keeps us going day after day. My name is Brittany Ame, and I will be your host this evening. I live in Southern California, and I'm a wife and mom of 2 little ones. We really appreciate you taking time to be with us tonight. And our hope is that you leave this call feeling motivated to take action in your life towards your health and nutrition. Now, before I turn this over to my co-host, I want to make sure that as you listen to our panelists share their stories, you understand that we are making no product claims to treat or cure any disease or illness, okay? With that being said, Ade Takumba-Faleti, take it away.
Hi guys, my name is Ade Takumba-Faleti. I live in Southern California, but I'm actually from Texas. So I see some of you guys are on from Texas. Glad to have you. I am a coach and a trainer. I'm doing that right now, but I actually am a counselor and social worker by trade. And I have a little puppy named Mia. It's a Frenchie. So enough about me. You came here to hear from our panelists. So Damaris, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Damaris, and I am a wife and a mom from Southern California. And that's it, right?
Hi, my name is Precious Cooper. I am a wife, a mother. I am originally from Detroit, Michigan, but I'm currently living in Indianapolis, and I am a marriage counselor.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Vitti, and I live in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, originally from Newburgh, New York, and I'm a yoga teacher and a sound healer.
Hi, my name is Dr. Bernetta. I'm a wife and a mom here in Southern California as well. All my children are grown. I'm an educator and a pastor, and happy to help other people find ways to wellness.
Yes, thank you. Let's get right into it. So first question, take us back, okay? Think back to your childhood and let us know what your nutrition looked like in your home growing up.
So I'm Cuban, and so we have a lot of rice with every meal. We have rice and beans. My family, sometimes we didn't have a lot of money, so my mom would try to be healthy and give us canned vegetables, like foods from cans. So rice, corn, fried eggs. Those are the kind of things I ate. I thought cereal was healthy, and the instant oatmeal was like, oh my gosh, I'm so healthy. Like, watch out. That was pretty much, yeah, my nutrition.
Thanks for that. Precious, how about you?
I actually can relate to some of that. I had parents who worked a lot, so I a lot of times was feeding myself and my younger siblings. In the morning, a lot of instant oatmeal, Pop-Tarts. It was always thinking about a meat and 2 sides, and those sides always came from the can. They were always usually green beans and corn. My mom, every now and then she liked to eat tomatoes and cucumbers with her meal. So that was pretty much the only fresh fruit, or veggies that I saw in the house. And then my dad, he liked bananas and watermelon, and that was the only fruit that we saw in the house.
Thank you. Brittany Vitti.
Yeah, I grew up in a big family. I'm one of 4, and my mom owns a catering business. And so we had a lot of food that was delicious, but really, really unhealthy. And my parents definitely, like in the 90s, bought into the low fat fad with like margarine or skim milk. And for sure, like Burger King once a week was like a treat, like getting fast food was pretty normal and standard. Yeah.
Bernetta, how about you?
Well, my dad was a chef, my mom was a baker, and they both came from Virgin Islands, so we grew a lot of things. We made homemade bread together, cakes, pies, cookies, whatever you can imagine. It was on our plate. We had 5-course meals. Honestly, for real, my dad was like, you're gonna eat every bit of this. So we just ate everything. That was our problem. And way too much of it. So I earned my 400 pounds very easily.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Damaris, talk to us about your 20s. At that stage in your life, what was your idea of healthy?
So in my 20s, I was I was in beauty school, so it was really anything that people had, we would kind of just share. And that wasn't very healthy. So then we decided we would walk around sometimes, and then we would have carrots and a lot of water. That was I wasn't very healthy in my 20s, but I was athletic. And so we tried. I thought that working out balanced out like the fact that I wasn't eating totally well. And I mean, we would go to AM PM for lunch before softball practice and stuff. Like, we weren't very healthy, but I thought I was pretty healthy because I had rice and beans and like some kind of protein usually at nighttime. And yeah, I was not very healthy. I thought a salad was healthy with a lot of dressing. So that was my health.
Yeah. Yes. Precious, how about you?
So in my 20s and early 20s, I was in college, and this is when I met my husband. And so we were not the starving students at all, because we both came from working parents. So we cooked a lot. We were known as the couple who always had real food. So we cooked everything. It was fried, it was.
Uh-oh, you got muted there, Precious. You were just saying it was fried.
Yes, everything, because now currently I don't eat beef or pork, but then I was eating it all, smothered pork chops, smothered chicken, everything. And I thought I would be eating healthy because we decided to go get Subway. So if I did that, that's what I thought I was doing. But I also ran track in high school, so I did the same thing as her, thinking that if we worked out, if I ran, I went to the gym, I was doing okay.
Yeah. Brittany, how about you? What did your 20s look like in terms of health?
I definitely started getting into my health and nutrition in my 20s when I moved in with my now husband and out of my mom's house. So really started cooking for myself. So it's really when I like started grocery shopping for myself and tried to really stay on the periph. So like fresh vegetables, like fresh meats, fish, that kind of thing. But I still didn't really I wasn't eating breakfast. I didn't really understand like what I was eating and why, because ultimately I felt like crap and my hormones were like running amok, and there was really very little intention and like consciousness around why I was putting something in my body. Even though I was trying to be healthy and really thought I was by the way I was shopping.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. Bernetta, how about you?
Wow, I was thinking about that, and I was in college at the time as well. So whatever was in the school cafeteria, Pop-Tarts with butter. You gotta have butter. And then drive-throughs like corn dogs. I remember eating at the Wiener Schnitzel. Like that was the bomb. So yeah, nothing healthy.
Wow. So if you can relate in the comments, let us know. We want to hear from you what it looked like in your household when you were growing up. Dan Marie, so the word healthy now, I'm sure has changed for you. So what does it mean now that you've experienced more of life? What does healthy mean to you now?
So now for me, now I'm 40 years old. So in my 30s, I started noticing a decline and I needed to make a change and stuff. So I've learned about nutrition and the importance of eating right, but not only eating right, working out, and just everything. So now I view health so differently. It's all about having enough fruits and vegetables on my plate. Not eating late at night, not having processed foods, or cutting a lot of the sugars out and stuff. I realized that like dairy products cause inflammation, so limiting that. And then exercising is also very important. It doesn't have to be extreme like I used to think it was, just walking. And then mental health also for me, like reading the Bible and stuff, like all of that to me encompasses health. And it's so important to me now.
Yeah. Precious, what about you?
It is completely different now because I want to be around for my grandchildren. So my motivation is making sure that everybody in my household are eating as clean as possible. I mentioned not eating beef or pork anymore. I haven't did that in 15 years. trying to make sure that I cut out not having coffee every day. And that's something that I actually love doing. But now I'm at a point where I don't, feel like I'm in withdrawals or something, because I don't need it, for energy or anything like that. So it's just a 360-degree, turn. My family is the motivation. So I do everything because of them.
Wow. Brittany, what about you?
I really see the word healthy more as like it's a lifestyle in a lot of ways. It's an all-encompassing thing. It's the mental health, it's the exercise, it's what I'm putting in my body, it's who I'm surrounding myself with, my community, my relationships, what I'm reading, what I'm listening to. And yeah, it has definitely evolved in just being really conscious about what I'm surrounding myself with and what I'm consuming, whether that's like physically or audibly or however.
Yeah. Dr. Anna, what about you?
I'm listening and I'm thinking, I thought healthy was being on a diet. So my life was more or less of a feast or famine kind of thing. I gained weight early, and I've probably done every diet on the planet. So I moved from thinking a diet was healthy to believing skinny was healthy, to coming to a place where understanding that balance is what is healthy, learning to balance things. So a huge change.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Damaris, when did you decide enough was enough and you needed to make a change?
So I was pregnant with my second child. I had a high-risk pregnancy, and I have what's called prolactinoma. So it's a tumor in my brain. And when you're pregnant, you can't take the medicine. So initially, you're producing more prolactin when you're pregnant. And so my tumor was growing, and it was becoming really difficult to do anything. It causes migraines. So I had migraines. I had anxiety, like a lot of anxiety, which I feel that's why the baby had a little bit of anxiety. And I had extreme vertigo. So like a few times I almost fell down in the shower. Like I saw stars, because you get dizzy because it's right there in your brain. And then one time I was driving to the doctor's, and the whole road totally flipped like upside down for a second. And I was like, oh Lord. So that's when my doctor's like, you just can't drive anymore. And he told me, just hold off and do your best, and just let's get full-term pregnancy. And that's when he started telling me just about different studies, and how like nutrition was really key. I was very blessed to have a doctor that knew about nutrition, and he told me to cut out dairy. He told me to go organic if I can, and just really consume a lot of fruits and vegetables. And he told me that there were studies all over the world that fruits and vegetables can actually heal the body. He hadn't known anyone that it had healed with prolactinoma, but that's where I was like, okay, I have a toddler. I have one on the way. I need to do something about this. And that's where it completely changed for me.
Wow, that's so powerful. Precious, how about you? When was enough for you?
I would like to say I went kicking and screaming. I wasn't even trying to, do anything. I had been brainwashed that all of the illnesses that I had was just the way life was going to be for me, that there was nothing that I could do. So I didn't try, to do anything. My shift was my children. So from the age 9, I struggled with migraines and was on medication. At 16, I found out I had stomach ulcers, and then again was on medication. I believe the medication from the migraines is what caused the stomach ulcers, but of course, doctor's not going to admit that. And then when I got into college, I discovered that I had severe anemia and chronic fatigue. So imagine being a college student who is supposed to be having the time of their life and partying and all that kind of stuff after you go to class. I was tired, all the time. And I just had, both of my pregnancies was just the absolute worst. And when that happened, it was kind of like, okay, now I need to do something. And so that's when I stopped with eating the beef and pork. And my fatigue wasn't as bad. I started to notice that it wasn't as bad. And then when I started to just put more plants into my diet, then I was able to move more. My headaches, I used to be at work with sunglasses on because the mercury from the light would irritate me. There were times where I thought I might be pregnant because everything I smelled made me feel like I had to vomit, so it was just a horrible state of mind to just always be in, and then also be that young and going through all that. And I had just gotten used to hurting and being in pain all the time, and I believe that this is the way God made me, especially with my blood. I was thinking like, you could never do anything to change your blood, and that was a complete lie. So the more I began to educate myself, and then when I became a mother, I was in charge of somebody else's life. That's what made the flip.
Yeah. Wow. Brittany, how about you?
Yeah, so I struggled with a very serious and a very secret opiate addiction for many years. And it was about probably like 3 months before I overcame that. This is about 5 years ago. Before I overcame that, I lost my menstrual cycle. Oh, I always had struggled with my menstrual cycle. Like, I didn't get it until I was 17. And then when I had it, it was like every other month or every 7 weeks. It was always like very irregular. The classic, put you on birth control and that'll fix you or whatever. And that totally screwed things up even more. But anyway, but right before I got clean, I lost my cycle. And then when I overcame the addiction, I was all in on turning my life around, my health, how I felt about myself, how I felt in my body, and really focused on my nutrition, eating organic. I followed the medical medium diet. I really cut out dairy, cut out caffeine, sugar. Sugar was a huge one for me. I love soda and the hard candy, like the sour stuff. Cut it all out, really. And though it took years, it was a very slow progression because of the destruction I did to my body, and from the focused intention of putting more plants, putting more anti-inflammatory foods, teas, herbs in my body, I was really able to turn my health around.
That's beautiful. I love it. Dr. Bernetta, how about you?
I can really relate to that. I honestly, food was my drug of choice. And I used food to cover all of my pain, all of my, food for everything. And my breaking point was in my early 30s when I tried to get in my car, and I was so heavy I could not buckle the seatbelt. And then later, trying to exercise and lose weight, I got stuck trying to walk down a street, and I had to sit on a curb for hours before my body would let me get up and go back home. And so embarrassed. I was about almost 400 pounds by then. And at that point, not long after, I ended up having gastric bypass surgery, and I lost my first 100 pounds. The weight came off, but I realized I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know how. And it was that process that got me started to think about the guidelines that I might think to actually follow that were healthy, to be able to have a long-term positive relationship with food. I became vegan in that process, literally. I was very excited about finding ways to actually understand what was right, what is healthy for my body.
Wow. Very powerful stories. Thanks so much for sharing, guys. I know your stories, but as I hear them more and more, I'm just like, wow. Okay, so talk about the change. So Damaris, can you share how you were introduced to the plant powders and then what changed for you after that?
Yes. So like I said before, I didn't share all of my story. It's pretty long, but I was desperate. And I had been praying. A lot of people were praying for me. And all of a sudden I saw this video, and it was a stranger, and she was sharing about these plant powders. And she was saying the things that my doctor had told me. And I was like, what? Because he never told me the name of anything. He was just telling me all that stuff. And things just started to click. And I was, is this meant to be? And so I found out about it, asked my doctor. They said, yes, that's what I take. I've been taking it for 10 years. I asked my high risk OB doctor. She's like, I've been taking it for like 15 years. Take it right now, throw away your prenatals and take this. And still, I didn't understand what it was. I was like, are you sure it won't hurt the baby? And she's like, why would it hurt the baby? Like, I didn't understand. I didn't know what I didn't know, but I trusted them. And I ordered it that day, not expecting anything to change. I thought that was just my new normal. I thought this was a way to get the nutrients to my baby that he so desperately needed, because I wasn't eating right because I was so nauseous and stuff. And I didn't pay attention, but it was around 5 months later that my husband, he was like, hey, have you noticed you have not complained about a migraine in months? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. And then I started noticing my anxiety went away. My IBS went away because I also suffered with chronic IBS. I wasn't getting that sick anymore. And I used to get strep throat all the time. My skin cleared up. Like my skin was like looking better, and I had more energy and I felt better, and I was older. Like, and I hadn't taken my medicine. I didn't have to take the cabergoline, which I used to have to take all the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a miracle. And so I saw so many changes, and I still see changes with my cycle and all of it, just like Brittany shared. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Wow. Oof. I love it. Precious.
So I was introduced to it from a friend. So my children's school, they do something called family dinner night, and they match you up with another family that you don't know at all and give you an opportunity to get to know one another. And this person has actually become one of my best friends. So she was sharing it with us, and she had the products right there. So the kids were, tasting the gummies. She made me a shake, and we enjoyed the way that it tasted. A lot of times when you do shakes, they taste chalky, and so I was a little hesitant about like, when she brought it over to me, but I was hungry. So I went ahead and accepted it, and I couldn't believe how delicious it was. I was pretty much in right away because I wanted something for my children. I wasn't even thinking about myself at that time. I had already, made a little bit of changes here and there, but I felt like there still needed to be more done. And so I just said yes, because I felt like, it's a no-brainer. We need more fruits and vegetables in our diet. Like, I cannot physically eat as much as my body needs. So it was a no-brainer for me. So instantly I jumped on board. Now the changes just scared the living crap out of me. And I'm gonna tell you why. I woke up one morning. Now, mind you, when I was dragging, okay? So the alarm would go off and I would hit snooze 57 times. It was so hard for me to actually get out the bed. And I woke up before the alarm actually went off. And then I just got up out the bed with no hesitation, right? I got out the bed and walked to my kids' room and was like, okay, y'all get up. And when I turned around to go back to my room, I stood there like, who just did that? Who just got out the bed and didn't have to crawl or drag or keep hitting the alarm? And while I'm in the hallway, now the alarm is going off. My husband is reaching over the counter because he the one that have to keep telling me, get up, get up. And he fell in the bed like, where's she at? That blew me away. Then I used to have to take these tabs that was for my migraine that I would just put in my mouth and they would dissolve. Well, they would be in my purse because I get migraines every single day. About a month had went by and they were still in my purse, and I was cleaning it out to switch to a different purse and saw how dirty and raggedy that it was. And it was like, oh my God, I haven't even, it was expired. The expiration date had passed and everything. I didn't even go and get it refilled. I hadn't even realized that things had started to change and I didn't know. And so the big icing on the cake was I went to the doctor for my annual pap smear. And my doctor, she is used to looking at me with the ultrasound because of my ulcers, right? So she's looking and she keep going across. Then she told me to hold on and leaves out, comes back with a whole nother ultrasound machine because she clearly thinks something is wrong with this machine because she's used to me having ulcers. I asked what's wrong, and she says, well, clearly nothing, because they're gone. Like every single ulcer, every single fibroid, gone. So now this time I'm looking up at the ultrasound machine, like, okay, you're doing something wrong. It was so unbelievable, the change that happened just that fast. So guess what I started doing after that? I started doubling up on my JP. If this can happen in a matter of 30, 60 days, imagine what this can do for my body, for a lifetime. Then I got everybody else in the house doubling up on it as well. My husband always had problems with his joints, the plant-based omegas, no pain. He actually just said that today. He's showing off though. He's doing squats, letting me know that he ain't popping and he ain't hurting and all that kind of stuff. That's incredible. And guess what else? My kids, perfect attendance. Perfect attendance. They never miss a day of school because they're healthy. Now, I will tell you, because they typical kids, they try me sometimes, but I'm like, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. Girl, get up, because they're healthy. There's nothing wrong. And my daughter got flawless skin. She always had a problem with acne, clear. Now, when she goes and visit grandma and she eat things she ain't supposed to eat, sometimes I can tell, because they pop up. But it's the best decision that I've ever made in my life. And I will never stop taking it. And I'll never stop doubling up on it also.
Yes. Brittany, beauty.
So I was introduced to the plant powders by my now friend, Kristen. She happened to come to Steamboat and came to one of my yoga classes. And we just hit it off before class and ended up exchanging information. And at that point, I had been on my nutritional journey for 2.5 years, where I was really dedicated to my diet, the lifestyle, what I was doing with my health. And at that point, I had not had my cycle for that entire time, 2.5 years. So I met Kristen, and it wasn't until a few months after we met where finally I understood what the plant powders were or what they could do for me. And I said, fuck it, let's try it. Let's see how it goes. And so I ordered the quad, so the full pack. And within a week, it was literally day 7. I had not had my cycle in 2.5 years. Within 7 days, I got my period. And then every 4 weeks since then, I've gotten my period, which has never in my life, even when I was a kid, I've never had a regular cycle. My hormones have never been regular. I've just always been a hot mess, which means I was exhausted and felt like a crazy person. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I didn't mention I was diagnosed with PCOS on this journey. So an autoimmune disease, which I knew the only way to really heal an autoimmune disease is to really focus on your nutrition and lifestyle changes. And so, even though I had been working on it for years, the plant powders were really, someone said it already, you can't eat enough. You just can't put enough of it in your body, especially when you're struggling with an illness or a disease of some sort. We need more than the normal person, right? Because we're healing. And so, this was a really easy way to fulfill those markers of getting that nutrients in my body, those vitamins and minerals, without constantly shoving food in my mouth.
Wow, that gave me chills. Dr. Bonetta, what about you?
Wow. Well, as I said, I had gastric bypass surgery, and fast forward probably about 12 or 13 years, I'd lost 200 pounds and been really fighting to keep that off, because, once you lose it, the bigger challenge is keeping it off and trying to really stay healthy. And the bad news was having a gastric bypass means that you now trade in your normal stomach for a stomach that does not absorb everything you eat. And I didn't realize then that it meant all those nutrients that you need to put in your body. Mm-hmm. So somewhere in 2017, I met my now good friend Robin, who was at my district health fair. And she had this beautiful banner out with fruits and vegetables. And we began to talk about the plant powders. And, I was honestly, I'm going to be honest, while she was talking, I was like, look, chick, I done every diet on the planet. I was born at night, but not last night. Miss me with that. So then fast forward again about another 2 years, actually a year. And my doctor, let me know that he saw a trend in my blood work, and my white blood cell count was dropping, and it was dramatic. Like every time I went, those of you that don't know about gastric bypass, but you have to monitor your vitamin levels on a regular. And so every time I was going for my blood checks, he was like, "This is dropped. It's dropped again." And he pulled me in, looked me in my eyes, and he said, "Listen, if this drops one more time, we're going to have to talk about some real serious therapies." And I'm not kidding, it's serious. And I was looking at him like, okay, fine, okay, what do I need to do? And he's like, "You got to eat more green leafy vegetables." And now by this time, you guys, I was a vegan with a tummy this big. So, Lord of mercy, how am I going to do that? I was panicking, but I was reminded of that sweet little, that sweet girl that was telling me, "Get these gummies and you can eat them." And I made a mad dash trying to find her. And it's so funny, as life would have it, as God would have it, she was looking for me too. And we sort of ran into each other. And I said, "Girl, don't say nothing. Just order me this stuff." And by the time I got it, he gave me 90 days, you guys. He gave me 90 days. And then we were going to have to do blood transfusions and all kinds of ugly things to try to manage my condition. And by the time I got to her and got the product in my hand, listen, I had 28 days. In 28 days, and I'm gonna confess, who else was? Oh, Precious was saying she doubled up. I was taking it morning and night. I didn't even read the label. I was like, "Get in my body, okay? Get in here." But can I just tell you, I was at 2.9, and anybody who knows these numbers, I was at 2.9 within 28 days. I was back up to 3.4. I have the blood work to prove it. I have the report. And my doctor was almost my first customer. He said, "What the heck did you do?" He said, "I don't even care. Whatever it is, keep going." I have been sold ever since then. And every 28 days, I find a new change in my body from, in digesting these wonderful plant powders. I would never not do this.
Wow. You guys, if you guys are listening and you're getting inspired, put it in the chat, because I'm like, oh my gosh, these testimonies are just like amazing. Okay, really quickly, I know we're over time. Bear with us, you guys. So, Damaris, what are 2 simple things that you would recommend to someone getting started on their health journey?
Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it short. I would just say order the products right now, because I would say get Juice Plus. Get the plant powders, because you will not regret it. It has completely changed my life. I didn't even say how my tumor shrunk, how I haven't had to take the meds in over 5 years, how it helped my mom with breast cancer, my grandma with kidney disease. Like, take this and give it to all your family, your kids. And second one, just start one simple thing. Like, just start this. I guess that's part one. And then the second thing is call everyone that you love and care about, because you don't know what could be prevented, and they need to know about this too. Like, I'm so passionate about that, because you guys, my life was hard, and I would lay in bed crying, depressed. Like, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't help my son, and fruits and vegetables literally like changed my life. And I would never, like everyone else said, I would never stop taking them. And I think that everyone deserves to know about this, because now I'm thriving, and I'm older and I feel younger. Like, I feel better in my 40s than I did in my 30s. That's huge to me. And I think everyone needs it. So, not sure if I answered too well, but that's my advice.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. That's perfect. Precious, how about you? 2 quick, simple things that can help somebody getting started.
Yes, so I think that whenever you're making a decision to do anything, you need to make sure that you're in the right mental state of mind. So that can mean different things for different people. It can be going to therapy. It could be reading a book, listening to a podcast, anything that's going to motivate you to take action, because action is what you need to do. You don't need to wait till you are motivated. You need to take action to become motivated. And then once you do that, then just start moving. Just start moving. Get up, do something physical. Take a walk, ride a bike, get on the treadmill, do something to get your body activated. Okay. And then she only asked for 2, but I'm going to give you 1/3 one, and I'm going to say eat clean. That's it.
Good, good,
Go
good.
ahead.
I'm glad you kept it short there. Good. Brittany, how about you?
Yeah, my 2 things are the first, baby steps. Like, don't be all or nothing, because it won't work. It's going to be really hard if you try and like cut everything at one time. Success is progression. So be easy on yourself. Baby steps and intention behind what you're doing is going to go a really long way. And then make it fun. Make it fun. Obviously, get these plant powders. That's a big one. And make the whole part of being healthy fun, right? Like, you can still make delicious meals, and you can still like create an experience with your family in the kitchen, and healthy. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, healthy is like so strict and straight edge and boring, but it doesn't have to be. And so, yeah, figure out a way to be creative and have fun with it.
Love it. Dr. Bernetta.
We call it the one simple change, and it's an opportunity to put, all the fruits, vegetables, and berries, the omegas in your hand and get them into your body every single day. That's what I would say. And remember, find a healthy friend, get a buddy that also is striving to be healthy. And then the statement in our house that we live by, remember, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I don't know about you, but I have goosebumps. Once again, I know these women's stories, and I heard a lot more that I didn't know. I'm in awe of what was said tonight. Thank you so much, panelists. You guys were absolutely incredible, being so vulnerable and sharing your journeys, your ups and downs, and just like your health journey, getting to a place where you feel good. And just sharing some struggles that you were going through. It's very vulnerable, and it's very awesome that you were able to do that with us, sharing your heart with us. And oh my goodness, all of you guys who are watching, wherever you're watching us from, we are so, so grateful for you. You could be anywhere doing anything. You took your time to spend with us, and we really appreciate you. I know it's time for us to go, so I'll be really fast, but I want you to reach out to the person that invited you to this call, because we are all trying our best to be as healthy as we possibly can be, but it can be very overwhelming. And we have an option for you that's very simple, to just add something in, not deprive yourself, not try to do all extra, just add one thing in that can change your life, honestly. So please talk to them and have an open conversation with them. Just let them know that you're interested, and just hear more about what we're talking about, getting more depth, more research, and more understanding, okay? So we're gonna end the call, but I'm so, so grateful. We love doing these things. We're gonna have an after party right now. So I'm gonna end the recording, and then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. All right.